Big up, everybody. It's your boy, Market MUFC fan, and you know what it is. It's the Trini boy in the building. And guess what, guys? It's an interesting time as Dwight Yorke announces his 35-man provisional squad. What that means? It means that there has been an introduction of youth, experience, upcoming players with momentum, and of course, players who have been delivering for Trinidad over a period of time. And it shows Dwight Yorke sticking to a core of players who he trusts, who fulfill his desires or what have you, if you want to call it that. It's one of those things where it's very, very interesting. As you can see, this is a 35-man squad streaming right below me there in in guys, sorry about the thing. But it's one of those things where you see that a lot of players, local and a foreign talent, guys who have been doing it in the MLS a lot, like, the likes of, how can I say it? Kobi Henry, number 21 of Real Salt Lake, and Darren Payne from FC Volendam, the Netherlands, both bring that European MLS exposure through, though they have limited national visibility. These two new players coming into the team provide an exciting opportunity for Trinidad and Tobago as we can see what they have to deliver. I know we have already been seeing what Dante Senior has been doing. He has been red hot, scintillating form, a goal per game in each of his every last games for the last 5 games for his club, Montreal CF. Even though they have not won the last 2 of their games, Dante Senior was there to get them on the score sheet and get them into the lead. Introducing other players who you may not know of, like Kyle Overy, a young talent, Justin Obikwu, a Nigerian Trinidadian player of descent who's played his football in England, Jaren Jackie, Gregory Ranjitsingh, a goalkeeper who has been a bit unlucky to not get his chances in the TNT team, but is now getting a lucky chance under Dwight Yorke. Jabari Bryce will also earn a provisional call-up, and the inclusion reflects Yorke's willingness to expand the selection pool. Talking about Kylie Overy with 17 caps since bursting onto the scene in 2023, brings skills, experience. Justin Obikwu, a towering forward based in England, earns a recall, and Gregory Ranjitsingh returns, as I said, the goalkeeper. He has been performing very well. 7 MLS clubs he has featured for so far early in the time. Now it's going to be interesting to see what happens and how he can get himself as a regular starter and impress Dwight Yorke in this provisional man lineup. Of course, we see that we talked about the experience from Levi Garcia, Kevin Molino, Daniel Phillips, Andrew Rampersad, Nathaniel James, the young sensation, and Real Gill, Tyrese Spicer, and Dante Seeley. These 3 youngsters are part of that core that Dwight Yorke has been depending on, that shows a consistent contribution, and you can tell that they are the core of Dwight Yorke's plans. Now, guys, it's going to be very interesting. A lot of people are concerned with the level of Trinidad selection, with the pool that we are selecting from. Some people are going as far as to say we should start selecting from the NCCAA in the USA, from the US collegiate level. And it might be an interesting shout. However, we have to remember that the youngsters in the collegiate format, they will be on visitors visas, student visas, and the like. Some of them, maybe if they are American, they might have a little bit more flexibility in allowances and time to be able to travel during their school year. This is the complicated situation that faces the TTFA. And when we are selecting players, now it might be more interesting to look at players who are already through the collegiate system, or maybe have a little bit more freedom to move about during the college year, the semester, because every single player who plays for a college team, they have to maintain a certain average of attendance. And not only that, they have exams, and they have also home assignments, which they must complete. So this also makes it complicated. Now, what we can do is look at some of the talent that we have in the European academies across in Europe, while they also have provision for national representation in their syllabus and curriculum, which allows them a bit more flexibility to be selected for players. And when I talk about the European academies come to mind as Theo Academy, one that has a range of different offers, not only in Barcelona, Spain, but they also have it in Turin, Italy, in the UK base as well as Germany and Denmark. Now, these academies offer scholarships to the Caribbean. They have been trying to promote these things, but it has not been widespread or maybe through the proper channels that they would like to have. Now, it will be interesting because later on today, guys, I will be doing a stream dedicated to explaining how people and young talents from Trinidad and Tobago and their parents can apply for these scholarships to these foreign academies. And there are 5 different academies that will be offering these types of situations in an attempt to reconnect Trinidad and Tobago heritage of football back with Europe. And of course, we know this from the likes of the strike squad and these guys, lots of players, Dwight Yorke, Stern John, and the like Marvin Phillips, all these players played abroad. There's a lot of different talent, including Dennis Lawrence as well as Carlos Edwards, who played their football all the way in the UK for clubs like Wrexham, and all the way in different clubs like in Belgium as well. So it's one of those things where we need to reconnect Trinidad and Tobago's talent with the European clubs. An opportunity has presented itself where Borussia Dortmund has initiated an academy in the Caribbean. The Borussia Dortmund Caribbean Academy is now in Tobago, and that will take some time before it really gets a foothold in the grassroots of Trinidad football. But now I put the challenge to the PFL teams to communicate with the BVB Academy and try to improve their training tactics, regimen, systems in a bid to gear all efforts towards one direction for the national team going forward. Now, moving on, the star of the team so far, would I have to say one of the stars? We have 2 stars, and of course, one is Tyrese Spicer, who is now with Orlando City. He joined recently in this transfer window. He has 6 caps for TNT senior side as of June 19, 2025, and is entering his international career at a pivotal time and in pivotal, scintillating form. Of course, there's also young midfielder Nathaniel James, who won the 2023 Premier League Golden Boot, 15 goals in 22 games with Club Sando, and now plays with Portland Hearts of Pine in the USL 1 League. And it's going to be interesting. There's also Isaiah Leacock, a domestic league standout for the Defence Force, a joint top scorer in the TT Pro League right now with 16 plus goals scored in his national team debut in the 2025 Unity Cup. He also got on the score sheet. Andre Rampersad, of course, we know this midfielder has been playing quite a few games under Yorke. He has shown that he is at the level and he can come in and settle that midfield, control it, and help us do what we need to do. You would know him from the Gold Cup. He was in those good performances. Of course, he scored his first international goal versus Jamaica and now is a regular. Alvin Jones, well, not much needs to be said about this guy. The screamer that he scored to knock USA out of their contention of Russia's road to World Cup years ago would be fresh in the minds. Of course, you know that he helped us in other ways and in other games, pivotal goals that come from him, and he's a very interesting defender. Of course, he had some ups and downs, but he had some strong performances at the back of that, which is going forward into his performances. Now, blending the youth and experience, as we talked about, is what Yorke is about right now. And we can see that with the likes of Molino, Garcia, and Jones, and the reliable Phillips and Rampersad, and of course, the exciting newcomers, Spicer, James, and Dante Seeley. Dante Seeley, guys, you are going to see a lot of this guy, a lot more of him. He is in red hot form, and I expect him to transition that form into the international qualifiers against Curacao. He should know some of those players from young PSV, where he learned his footballing trade in the Netherlands alongside some of those players. And I expect him, as well as young Obikwu, to put and Payne to have an impact into the starting lineup. And Payne is will be part of the defensive backbone along with Jones, who is the leadership there. And it's going to be interesting to see how Henry gets himself into this position as well. This brings a lot of strength and depth that we were lacking in the last few games previously as we have seen, Dwight Yorke is looking for options in that position. Of course, we are strong now in the forward line with the likes of Levi, Garcia, Dante, Real, Gill, Obikwu now coming through. You will see him. He was not here for the last 3 games, but he will be here going forward. And of course, guys, he's a strong, a talented striker with a lot of premier football experience. And when I say that, he's played in the Championship and in League One, and is now in the and should be heading into the Premier League after this transfer window as a loan. So we'll see what's going on there. Now, this squad reflects a strategic emphasis on growing players quickly, as noted in his team rebuilding during the Gold Cup and qualifiers. You can see the experience there to give CNT a sense of security and standard. And of course, you see the young stars coming in and the young talents being brought in along with them to provide that spark, that energy that Trinidad needs, and the quality that we didn't have previously. It's going to be very interesting. Of course, we are gearing up for a qualifier against Curacao on Saturday. Guys, I will be live with the watch along. Please tune in and don't forget to smash a like and subscribe. Trinidad football is moving ahead. It's taking a turn, and I think it's a turn for the positive, and we need to be supportive. And guys, of course, we must be critical in the bad moments for things that does not or is not something that we deem as fans that are moving Trinidad and Tobago football forward. But as we can see with Dwight Yorke and this current selection and the wider spread of influence from the different players like Obikwu and Ovry coming into the team, we were seeing a little bit more diversity in the pool of selection, and this bodes well, and we should support this. And going forward, we should expect more of this and demand only the best that play for Trinidad and Tobago. And guys, it can only get better from here. And what I will say is, let's pay attention, let's keep it close, let's keep our eyes out, and let's support this team, because the Soca Warriors are here and they are marching on their road to the World Cup 2026, a 48-team tournament. And yes, we have 2 opportunities. We can book a direct spot if we are to secure 3 victories in this World Cup qualifiers, starting with Curacao and ending with Jamaica. If we can get victories over these 2 teams in our first 2 games, guys, it puts us in a very, very strong position to move ourselves guaranteed into the World Cup qualification. And of course, that will definitely be the goal and the aim of Trinidad and Tobago going forward. And of course, we hope to be there. Now, there's also, if we don't get a direct spot, there's also the preliminary round of 8 teams, round robin, where 2 spots will be an offer, and we have an opportunity to make that round of tournament, but we need to secure ourselves and book our place in a secure spot, and maybe let Jamaica go and fight it out with the South American and African and Asian teams for the last 2 spots in the 48-team tournament. Guys, thank you for joining me. Don't forget to smash the likes and subscribe. And if you have missed anything or have any questions, please drop it in the live chat or in the questions and statements. Of course, it's the road to World Cup. Soca Warriors are here to stay. And of course, with Dwight Yorke as coach, I think it's a very, very interesting and promising prospect for Trinidad football to move forward and get ourselves into the World Cup 2026. We will be there. We will be watching. And you can join me live on Saturday for the watch along. Shout out to each and everyone joining. It's been your boy, Mark NMUC fan. You know what it is, guys. Let's go. Yeah, bro. I'm gonna order 2. If you want to get one, I will have one. I will bring one for you, bros. Don't worry about it, bro. I'm gonna order 2 tomorrow, straight from Trinidad. So it's gonna be coming live. You know what I mean? So get with the program, guys. And of course, support Trinidad and Tobago football. And if there's any thoughts or comments that you have, please leave it in the non-live section or drop it in the comments, and your boy will be here to respond to each and every one of those comments. Of course, Soca Warriors, 100%. Let's go, TNT. We want a goal.